welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something that's pretty fundamental when we talk about achievement, this idea of a rich mindset. We've got some really interesting material here that basically argues financial success isn't just, random chance.
Right.
It really stems from a specific way of thinking. So our goal today is to kind of unpack these ideas, see what's actually useful for you.
Exactly. Yeah, we've been looking at this presentation, and it breaks the whole rich mindset thing down into, tangible steps.
Okay.
It uses a personal story, but also examples of, really successful people to illustrate the points. We want to pull out the key insights and help you see how these shifts might actually work in practice.
Okay, so the basic idea here, the central premise, is that your mindset isn't just background noise. It's actively shaping your financial situation.
Yeah.
This source material is suggesting that if you're thinking like what it calls a broke person,
Yeah.
well, you're likely to stay stuck.
It perpetuates the cycle.
But if you can sort of cultivate the thinking patterns of wealthier people, you start seeing opportunities. You create pathways to build wealth.
It's this idea that mindset comes before the money.
Exactly. Your worldview kind of lays the groundwork.
And what's really interesting is how it suggests our mindset acts like a filter.
A filter? How so?
Well, it influences the choices we make, obviously, but also what we even notice as a potential opportunity in the first place.
Oh.
The presentation really hits hard on this link between our internal thoughts and our external financial results.
Right. So the first big shift they discuss is moving from scarcity to abundance thinking.
Yeah.
And scarcity, as they describe it, is all about limits.
Yeah.
That instant reaction of, oh, I can't afford that.
The closed door feeling.
Whereas the abundance mindset flips it.
Right.
It asks, okay, how could I afford that?
Yeah, opens up possibilities.
The source even claims that wealthy people operate believing money is, essentially unlimited. Now, that sounds a bit out there. Maybe.
Yeah, it does sound a bit much on the surface.
Is that realistic? Or even, responsible? How does that mesh with needing to be careful with money?
That's a fair question. It's not really about believing there's literally infinite cash,
Okay.
It's more about a fundamental difference in perspective. Scarcity focuses on what's missing, the lack. And that can kind of shut down your problem-solving brain.
Right. You just stop looking.
Exactly. But asking, how can I afford this, forces you to explore options, to think creatively, find resources, see pathways someone stuck in that scarcity mode might just completely miss.
So it's less magic money and more active problem solving.
Precisely. It's moving from feeling restricted to actively looking for solutions, like seeing a locked door and starting to look for a window, or maybe another way entirely.
Okay, that makes more sense. It's about approach, not just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
So building on that, the source then talks about another key piece, investing in yourself.
A big one.
They argue that the wealthy prioritize putting resources into knowledge, skills, assets, things that grow value.
Yeah, over the immediate gratification stuff.
Right, the flashy toys, as they put it. And examples are pretty compelling, like Warren Buffett reading, 500 pages a day?
Incredible, yeah.
And Elon Musk teaching himself rocket science?
It really hammers home the point. This self-investment isn't seen as like a nice to have.
It's its core strategy.
Exactly. It's fundamental for long-term growth, for creating future options. They see their own skills and knowledge as, probably their most valuable assets.
And that feels especially relevant today, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Things change so fast. Continuous learning, building skills. It's not just good, it's becoming essential to just stay relevant, never mind get ahead, whatever field you're in.
So for you listening, this could mean anything, right? Taking an online course, sure. But also just dedicating time to read industry stuff, finding a mentor.
Expanding your toolkit.
Getting insights. It's about building that skill set, that understanding, which then hopefully opens doors. More income, career moves.
Tangible value.
Yeah, real world value. But is there a point where you're just learning random stuff? How do you know where to focus that self-investment?
That's a really important point. It's not about just consuming info passively.
Right.
It has to be strategic. It should align with your goals or what your field demands. The source implies you focus on things that help you create value or, solve problems people care about.
Like planting the right seeds.
Exactly. You invest in the seeds most likely to give you a good harvest, given your soil, your climate, your situation.
So be intentional. Be discerning.
Yeah.
Keep checking if that learning is actually leading somewhere.
Yeah. Is it opening up tangible opportunities or growth?
Okay. Got it. So the third big shift, this one's about risk, taking calculated risks. They contrast playing it safe, which they kind of associate with the middle-class mindset, with the wealthy being willing to take, well, smart risks.
And they point out that failure is often part of the deal.
Yeah, almost expected sometimes. And they pose this really interesting question. What's the cost of not taking this risk?
That reframing is so powerful, isn't it?
It really is.
And the key word is calculated. It's not about just closing your eyes and jumping.
No reckless gambling.
Right. It's about doing the homework. Assessing the potential downsides, yes, but also the potential upsides. Making an informed choice, even with uncertainty.
So analysis and strategy, not just gut feelings.
Exactly. It's like checking the traffic reports before trying a new route versus just blindly taking some shortcut you vaguely heard about.
Yeah, good analogy. And that question, what's the cost of not taking the risk? It forces you to think bigger picture. We naturally worry about what we might lose if we try something new.
Fear of failure.
But we don't always weigh the opportunity cost, what we miss by just staying put.
Right. Inaction has its own costs, sometimes huge ones.
Your career stalls, a business chance slips by, you never pursue that personal goal. Thinking about it that way really changes how you see risk.
And it makes you realize that sometimes, yeah, the riskiest move is no move at all.
Staying still.
And if you look broadly, this willingness to take smart risks, that's what drives a lot of innovation, right?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs, scientists pushing boundaries.
They're all taking calculated risks, hoping for a big payoff, knowing it might not work out.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've walked through these three shifts. Scarcity to abundance, investing in yourself, embracing calculated risks. It's important, I think, to bring this back to you listening.
Definitely.
Because whether you're prepping for a big meeting or trying to get up to speed in a new field or just curious, these ideas, these principles, they apply way beyond just money stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Thinking bigger picture, these mindset shifts really foster a more proactive approach, a growth mindset, really, in all parts of life.
How so?
Well, focusing on possibilities helps you tackle career challenges more creatively, right?
Sure.
Committing to learning makes you more adaptable, more effective, and understanding smart risk-taking, that's key for innovation, for progress, whatever you're passionate about.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, as we sort of start to wrap up the main discussion here, it's really crucial we remember something. We've been exploring the viewpoints from this specific source material. Our goal isn't to say, this is the absolute truth about financial success.
Right, we're not endorsing one specific philosophy here.
We're just trying to understand the ideas presented, the logic behind them, so you can think about them for yourself.
Exactly, providing a framework, encouraging you to think critically. How might these ideas resonate or not with your own experience, your own goals?
So let's pull it together. We took this deep dive into the rich mindset concept. We unpacked those proposed shifts.
Yeah, from scarcity to abundance.
Prioritizing self-investment.
And embracing calculated risks.
Those seem to be the pillars, according to this source.
And what's interesting, I think, is how they seem to connect. Like they reinforce each other.
How do you mean?
Well, an abundance mindset might make you more willing to invest in yourself, right? And investing in yourself gives you the knowledge, the skills to maybe better assess and take those calculated risks.
Ah, I see, like a positive feedback loop.
Sort of, yeah. Each element potentially strengthens the others.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you to really chew on. Regardless of where you are financially right now or what field you're in, how might consciously trying to shift your focus, from limitations towards possibilities.
And actively committing to learning.
Yeah, and thoughtfully looking at risks, both the risks of doing something and the risks of doing nothing. How might that actually change your decisions, your whole approach to reaching your goals?
It's a powerful question.
What's maybe one small concrete step you could take this week just to experiment with one of these shifts in your own life?
What's something practical?
Give that some thought. And thank you for taking this deep dive with us today.